What's up guys, Celestial here again, back with another guide. Thank you guys so much for the support on all the videos so far, and now we're doing another one. This is Barrets. We're going to have Barret, Aerith and Tifa coming out today, so hopefully you guys will like them. I really enjoyed doing the Aerith one. She's broken. So's Tifa though, but we know that. But anyway, on to Barret's one. Barret isn't actually that bad. I thought it was going to be horrendous because Barret can't roll for crap. Like his roll animation is terrible. And yeah, basically you just want to block most of the stuff in this. So like Cloud at the start, just fire your limit off. Barret can't get them all into one place like Cloud can, but we do have our elemental fire magic on, so any fire damage will be absorbing. There is a couple tricky fights in this one, I would say. The second to last and the last fight are probably the hardest in this, just because of the BS the big turtle can do, the big adamantoise. But yeah, the starting one's always easy, it's just thugs, so just use whatever skills you want and just blow them away. I would suggest maybe saving half of your MP because you'll get half of it back in the next round. Or this point blank is very good for this mode. I would suggest using point blank a lot. You can also use steel skin because Barret's by himself, so he'll want to basically mitigate as much damage as possible. And steel skin is very good at doing that. It's basically just like more damage mitigation because Barret's the tank of the group. But for these guys, just smack down, point blank, all that sort of stuff. I was just testing out moves with Barret here just to see what's stronger. Point blank's probably your best bet. Bonus round as well is very good because it boosts stagger a lot. So for example, as you can see, I'm just shooting this guy and he's already staggered. So bonus round will help for a lot of these because a lot of them you really want to stagger really quickly. But yeah, the moves I suggest for this are basically bonus round, point blank, and steel skin. So with steel skin you're taking less damage, point blank is very strong, but you have to be really close up, which you don't really usually want to do with Barret, but for the most part, since he's by himself, you kind of have to. So that's the thugs done. Pretty easy. On to the next. Which is this thing right here. We do have enemy skill on here, I'm pretty sure, so you could technically use, I think it's Plasma Discharge, which is the one where you electrocute them every time you get an ATB bar. Because you're going to want to be close to these guys anyway, like I said. And just parry or block whatever they throw at you for more ATB. You could also potentially swap out some of the materia for like lightning materia, but it doesn't really matter, like you can kill these things pretty quick. So more ATB from parrying there, and we've got the Plasma Discharge on there, so we want to make sure we're close when we're building our ATB. Sonic Boom for a little bit more boosted damage. And you can stagger them pretty quick by doing that, so when you see them shoot and you're really close to them, just mash R1 and you'll basically parry every single one of them. And we broke one of the arms, we get Plasma Discharge off. Building it up again. Another point blank. Pretty insane damage from Barret at this point. And then it'll start doing an emergency defense mode when it gets to a certain amount of health. But that just leaves it open to get whacked about a bit more, which is really fun. I wasn't expecting Barret's one to be this easy, and as we saw there, we just got healed. So because we have the fire magic on elemental on our armor. And we will need that for the next fight, because you'll see why. So emergency defense mode, just lay into it. It seems when you're close the missiles don't actually hit you, which is great. Because I think that's what the plan is. If you're far away and you're trying to stay far away with Barret, you'll get hit by all these missiles. But since we're up close and we're using point blank, we don't get hit. And this is why you want the fire elemental magic on. Because we're going to want to get in close, as we've been doing with every fight so far. And we're just going to get healed every time. The bomb does do a physical attack. It does like a little reel back and then it flies into you, which you can parry. I parry it a couple times here. But yeah, for the most part, we're literally just going to get healed by everything here. So just use whatever you want. Use bonus round to boost the stagger. As you can see, the stagger goes up insane amounts by just using the normal attack. And while we're building ATB, we're using static discharge, and that's the physical attack there. But it doesn't really matter. If you want to parry, you can, but you're going to get healed up regardless anyway. And we use our free limit that we got. And I use Turbulent Cannon here. Oh no, not Turbulent Cannon, Lifeblood Cannon. This is the one that takes half your health and 2 ATBs, but it's very good for this fight, because you're going to get healed up regardless. See? That was about 1,000 and a bit damage that you just got back there, and there's another 1,000, almost 3,000 health back. We're basically back to full health. And the boss is staggered again, and Lifeblood Cannon again. And since we're going into the next round and we just used half our health, we'll get half our health back. This one is probably one of the most difficult ones. The last one, if you're decent at parrying or blocking, is not too bad. But this one, if you're not using fire on it really quickly, it'll start using this. All those red things that you see come out of it, it starts spitting them out like crazy. So you need to make sure that you use the fire magic on it to stagger it, or at least get it pressured, and then stagger it as quickly as possible. Otherwise you're going to get overwhelmed by all that red crap that it throws out. You can dodge it because it doesn't hit you right away, it lands on the ground and explodes. When it does this, you want to try and get behind it and use something. I use my limit here stupidly, that takes too long. So what I would suggest is using either point blank or just throwing out a quick fire spell. So there we go, that's it pressured, and we want to make sure that we get this thing staggered as quickly as possible. And with Barrett's focus shot, you'll see how much this does. So pretty much almost staggered completely. And we parry, and we're also getting hit by a lot. This is the thing I'm talking about. When it starts doing this, you've got very little room to maneuver and also cast spells or whatever, because it keeps throwing them out constantly. And we use just a little bit of chakra just to get some of our health back. I get very close to dying here, but you need to make sure you pressure this thing ASAP. You can parry them as well, the things it throws out, or block them like I did there. But yeah, I'm just trying to stagger this thing as quickly as possible because this is going to end up killing me. You could also use the bonus round thing here because that staggers this really quick as well. And as we mentioned before, Barrett's roll is terrible, so you need to make sure you're using your actual parry mechanics. And we've got our limit back again, so might as well use it. And then get healed up. We're going to stagger it a lot quicker this time. You could also potentially bring some breach magic to do this. I use my summon here because the last boss is easier compared to this guy in my opinion. But yeah, you could potentially bring some breach magic to dispel some of its buffs. I don't think it would do that much difference, to be fair. But if you want to, you can swap out some of the materia, that'll show you the end. But yeah, we're going to summon Alexander just to take this thing down a little bit quicker. Use a bit of fire magic just to get it pressured. Parry it, because we need to parry it. It does 2 hits, but you can block the second hit. You can also parry the second hit if you're good enough. Focus shot, just to get it a bit closer to being pressured, or staggered even. And this time I'm taking no chances. I'm making sure this guy's staggered as soon as possible. This is probably the one that takes the longest in this fight. I'd say Barret is pretty easy compared to Cloud with regards to how many enemies he fights and like what they do. But it still can take a little bit of effort at the end with this guy and the last boss. The last boss is that, I don't know if you guys have done any side quests, but it's the boss that runs about a bit. He's got like a rider on the back and it's like a big dragon beast type thing. But like I said, you could use bonus round here. Bonus round would probably pressure it a lot quicker. Thank you, Alexander. I feel like the summons should be able to break the damage limit. I feel like doing 9999 damage against these sort of fights is a bit useless, considering we can do that ourselves. So as you can see, I'm getting a little bit low on magic here because I'm trying to use as much fire magic as possible to get it staggered. But staggered again, and we can use our limit and kill him. Last boss coming up, and this can be quite difficult, but the parrying on this boss is very easy because he's quite slow and he telegraphs his attacks a lot. So this is another one with an elemental weakness, so we've got ice. And we have ice because we've obviously got the fire and ice defense magic on. This move right here is how he's going to do a lot of damage to you. You need to make sure you parry this. I'm not sure if blocking stops it, but you can always try. But yeah, you can parry this. And it stops it completely. Stops entire damage and stops him from running up and doing this to you. That's how he's going to get the majority of damage on you if you don't either block it or parry it. And I was getting a bit annoyed here. I was like, there must be a way to stop this because it's not a red attack. So I make sure to get myself back up a little bit and then get hit by it again because I'm a moron. And then he hits me again and I'm like, right, this is it. Parry mode activated. It is really good that he pushes you away though. It gives you a lot of time to recover. He can do that and jump across the map, but that's very easy to parry. I would recommend using bonus round for this boss. Basically, use bonus round for every boss that Barret has. I didn't really use it because I'm not used to using Barret that often, but bonus round is probably one of the best things to use because it builds so much stagger up. He also has magic nullification on, I think, so you can't actually use his elemental weakness. Annoyingly. Just make sure you're staying alive. The boss isn't too difficult. Like I said, his attacks are really telegraphed. You can either block them or parry them and then just heal yourself with some chakra. And like I said at the start, Steel Skin. Very good move. So if you're not good at parrying everything, you can block or get hit and you'll still take less damage. There we go, bonus rounds activated. It doesn't build his incredibly high, unlike the other bosses, but it's better than nothing. Don't be too scared about staying close, because that's what we want with Barret. We want to make sure we're close, and he starts pulling you in anyway, so because he polarity shifts, he either pushes you away or pulls you in. And this is actually really good because he gets fire breathing. And we heal ourselves from fire. So just stagger him and then do this. And Lifeblood Cannon. I wasn't sure if this would affect the chakra magic, but it does a lot of damage, so it's best to kind of get this boss killed as quick as possible. Let's see if it actually does affect chakra. I think it does. Chakra recovers 40% of the HP you were dealt as damage, so that might actually be quite a good combo. So yeah, Lifeblood Cannon is very strong. Takes 2 ATB bars and it also drains half your health. So only use it if you know you can get yourself back up, as you don't really want to drain your health and then die. I would probably say the only ones you're going to struggle with now after beating Cloud's one is potentially Barret, because if you're not used to Barret and you're not used to parrying, it might be a little bit more difficult. Cait Sith, I hated playing as Cait Sith. I have no idea how to play as him. He is probably really strong, but I just have no idea how to play as him. So the video you guys see with that's not going to be an easy method. This isn't really that easy either, but it's just to show you guys kind of like I said, how sloppy you can be. You can parry a lot of the stuff, all these things like bonus round and lifeblood cannon that you can use to do a fair amount of damage. But yeah, Cait Sith, probably a pretty broken character, but I can't use him for the life of me. The parry mechanic in this I really do like. I'm glad they put it in because it makes it so you can just mitigate all the damage that you possibly would take. And it allows you to stagger them pretty easy as well, which is really good.
Won't be nothing left of you when I'm through.
And dead. Lifeblood cannon essentially does the same amount as your limit break, which is amazing. Good trade-off for taking half your health and 2 ATBs. And that's Barret's one done. You've got the easier ones coming up. Tifa and Aerith. The way I've built Aerith up is so fun. Yuffie is actually really easy as well, and so is Red, but the guides for them, if I can edit them today I will, and I'll release them today, but potentially you'll only get Tifa and Aerith after Barret. But I will show you Barret's build just now. Right guys, so the build for Barret to do this mode is Battle Cry, Cetron Bracer, kind of similar to Cloud, got a Damarung. We need this because it makes the fights 1,000 times easier. And then we've got the Materia, we've got Barrier, just a little bit of damage mitigation because Barret is technically a tank because he has things like Steel Skin, which also reduces damage. You want to make sure you use that as well. Time Materia, just to get some more ATB. ATB equals damage, or healing, whatever you want. Chakra, I used this because I wanted to make sure I was using Barret's MP to cast spells and buffs and things like that. So yeah, use Chakra instead so you're healing yourself that way. You can use Prey as well, but it's just not as good. Chakra's usually a little bit better. ATB boost, I actually started using this, unlike my last video where I showed you guys all the summon battles. I have actually started to remember to use this, and it actually works pretty well at the start of the battle, and halfway through the battle too. HP up, because obviously you want more health. MP up, just for a little bit more magic, so you can use it later. First strike, more ATB at the start of the battle. Precision defense, gives you a bigger window to parry, and also prevents any binding attacks. There doesn't seem to be any binding attacks in Barret's one from what I could tell, but maybe they just didn't throw them out. His actually felt really easy compared to Cloud's. Speed up, just to make him a bit faster with his moves. Steadfast block, less damage and large ATB, so if you don't parry, at least you're blocking and you get more ATB. Strength up, make Barret a bit stronger, kill things quicker. Enemy skill, we had this on Cloud when we did the other run. This is great because you get things like the Sonic Boom, which gives you bravery and faith, etc., which makes you more powerful. You've got the static discharge, which hurts things every time you get an ATB bar, which is amazing. You're not usually close to things with Barret, but you want to make sure you're close in this to do a lot of damage. Fire and ice materia, just because you'll be absorbing a lot of fire damage in this and healing Barret. And of course elemental, because we want to absorb the fire. And the ice magic, because the last one is actually weak to ice, but by this point I didn't have enough MP, so I just had to beat him normally. But yeah, elemental on the armor, just so we can absorb the fire damage, because the third enemy is a bomb, I believe, or it's the fourth enemy. And yeah, they're quite a pain in the butt if you don't have any sort of damage mitigation for their fire. Then we've got open and ATB boost, ATB charge rate, limit gauge charge rate, and attack power plus 20. You could probably swap the limit gauge charge rate out because you start with a limit break, but it makes it faster for getting the next limit break, because the God Damarung gives you 1 at the start of each battle, and then really charges the limit break up during the battle as well. So the more damage you take, it'll just charge it anyway, and so will this. So you're going to have a lot of limit breaks to use in this fight. But yeah, that's pretty much the build. As you guys saw during the video, it's fairly simple to do Barret's one compared to Cloud, because Cloud is more mobile. I think they gave him a bit harder of a time doing his challenge, but hopefully Aerith is the same as this, and I haven't tried the other ones out yet. I'm going through these one at a time and making the videos. So if these are helpful, like the other ones, leave a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel because I always forget to say that. And hopefully this has been helpful. I am currently close to the platinum. I only have a few more of these to do. And then I've got to finish hard mode. And I believe I'm leaving the piano one till last, just as like a nice chill out thing to get the platinum. But yeah, let me guys know what your platinum journey is like so far with this game, because I thought this was actually going to be easier than Remake, but with the VR challenges it makes it 10 million times harder, and I've spent about 140 hours on this so far and still haven't got it done yet. But yeah, hopefully you guys have liked this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.